solving with combinations and permutations. So basically what needs to happen is you have to be able to distinguish between which one is which. So we want to try our best to find the key words that indicate whether it's a permutation or a combination. I've been explaining that as we go here. Okay? In counting problems, use permutation when order is important and use combination when it's not. Look for specific features of the problem. If there is a repetition r out of n objects, you should usually divide by r factorial. If multiple tasks or stages linked by the word and, apply the fundamental counting principle and use multiplication. If multiple tasks or stages are linked by the word or, the problem can usually be broken down into mutually exclusive cases. Use addition. All right, let's just look at a couple examples, or 3 or 4, so that we can get an idea as to what we're looking at. How many sequences can be formed using the digits 0 through 9 exactly once if the digit in the sequence is 0? First, the final digit is 0. A multiple of 4 is the first digit in the sequence, and another multiple of 4 is either the 5th, 6th, or 7th in the sequence. Okay, so anytime that we have a pile of restrictions on this, they are leading you into doing the fundamental counting principle, which means draw your blanks and then place your options in your blanks. So how many numbers do we need here?
0 to 9.
We need 10, right? 1. Okay, so we're to our first restriction. The final digit in the sequence is 0. Again, squiggly brackets. You have one option for that final one. The first one has to be a multiple of 4. What are my options for a multiple of 4? 4 and 8. So I'm going to put those down here and make that a 2. Okay? Another multiple of 4 is either the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th in the sequence. Okay, so we've already picked one of them, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So either the 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 5, 6, or 7, so somewhere between here and here has to also be what? A multiple of 4, right? So another multiple of 4 is either the 5th, 6th, or 7th in the sequence. So it has to go in one of these 3 blanks. So let's just put it right here. So we've got 1 in there. So that would be a 4 or an 8, again, depending on what we did, right? So there's my case 1. In this situation here, though, I have to take into account that there are 3 possibilities. The 5th, the 6th, or the 7th. So really, I should have another one doing all of this again. Same thing. All right, and then doing it a 3rd time. Okay, so there's an easier way in which we can do that, though. And that is just multiply this by 3. Okay?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. So that takes care of the 5th, 6th, or 7th. All right?
So if there's multiple spots for one thing, then you multiply the top number of spots that you got?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we'll make it the 5th on this one. We'll times it by 3 because it could be the 5th, 6th, or 7th. And now, how many choices do I have left?
2, 7, no, 6. 7. More than even 3 there.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right? So the answer to this question then is 3 times 2 times 7 factorial. Works out to 10,080. All right. That's, and then, no, that's not right.
No.
That's 10,080 and then times that by 3, which gives us
30. Yeah.
30,240. That's right.
That's confused.
Okay? All right, so let's review this again. If you have multiple restrictions, you're probably looking at doing your fundamental counting principle. Draw your blanks, okay? Blanks are the easiest way to do most of these questions, if you can. How many different 4-card hands containing at least one heart can be dealt to one person from a standard deck of playing cards? All right. I need a 4-card hand, and I need at least one heart. Okay? So the first thing I want to do is let's find out how many total. How do I find out how many ways I can pick a 4-card hand from a deck of 52 cards? 2.
52C4. Oh yes, sorry.
That's right. 52C4. Okay? Picking 4 cards from 52. Now, here's that word at least again. Right? At least. So what did I do yesterday when I had the word at least? Instead of finding out a hand with 3 cards, a hand with
Number of cards with no hearts on them.
How many options?
how many options don't include a heart?
So you just check 13.
Okay, so I have 52C4 here. Subtract. How many cards in the deck aren't hearts?
39.
39. So I need to pick 4 cards from the rest of them. There's your answer to your question. Because it's at least, it's easier to do it this way. The alternative to it is to pick hearts, no hearts. So 1 heart. There's your possibilities. Okay, so you'd have to pick 1 heart or 3 of the no hearts, 2 and 2, and so on. So this would look like this. 13C1 times 39C3. 13C2 times 39C2. 13C3 times 39C1. 13C4 times 39C0. Those are all the possible cases that I can have in which I have at least 1 heart in a 4-handed deck. Okay? Then you would add those all up. So whichever way you prefer. This one's not bad because there are only 4 scenarios. All right? So let's look at this again. How many different 4-card hands containing at least 1 heart can be dealt to one person from a standard deck of playing cards? So what is the most important thing out of that that's not said in there to lead us to a combination? What's the difference between permutation and
specific order.
no order? No order is specified. You're just selecting. Okay? So remember, C, choosing, selecting means the same thing. So that's when you use combination. Go ahead, Roy.
Okay, so since it says at least 1 heart, you wouldn't put the 0 hearts and 4 no hearts at the top? Or
No, because I can't have that as one of my options. Because I have to have a heart.
okay.
Yeah. So that is the one that's missing. That's why I got 39C4 there. So actually, that's a good point, Rory. I could actually add that in too. 13C0, which means I'm not picking any hearts. And how many ways can I not pick a heart? There's only 1 way. So 13C0 is still 1, but this is what that's to explain it to you or to explain it to whoever's marking your exam. hey, I know that I'm picking 4 from the rest of the cards and I'm not picking a single heart. That's how I would show that.
You suggest doing that?
No, I'm okay. Yeah, it's good, but you don't have to. Yeah. Okay? Any problems from what I assigned yesterday?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, I think I ended up doing it right. It was like number 2, evaluate column,
Page.
107. I think you can just do 1.
So, if I have this, I take the largest one on the bottom, then I'm going to cancel it out with the top.
Yeah, so it'd be like,
So it's going to leave me with 5 times 4, right?
yeah.
Over 2 times 1 on the bottom. That cancels, gives me 10.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
What about B? I don't know how to do that one.
B?
That's all that is.
Yeah, remember I said yesterday at the start of class, there's 2 ways in which we can write NCR. One is with brackets like that.
But we don't actually know that's the exam, right? That one's not on there.
Sorry?
That one's not on the exam, that one's just in the book, right?
I don't remember. It could be. I don't know.
So how do you know it was the 4? Oh, yeah.
7 subtract 3. Anybody else have questions from yesterday's work? Petra. Sorry? Page? 109? Okay, similar to the one from yesterday? All right, so NCR, n factorial over n minus r factorial, right? So what's the n in this case on the left side? Okay, so that goes on top, right? Okay, so now I have n plus 1 subtract 3. What does that give me? Just don't write this down, I just want you to follow, okay? So this is n minus r, right? So n plus 1 subtract 3. So what do I have? N plus 1 factorial on top, right? And on the bottom, what is this? Minus 2 factorial, 3 factorial, just like that. So far, so good. Okay, and on the other side, I have 4 times the n factorial on top here. And I've got what? N minus 2 on the bottom. And n factorial like that. Oh, sorry, 2 factorial. I have that, right? Okay, so far? Yeah, Emma.
How do you get n minus 2?
It's n minus r. So this value goes on top, right, Emma?
Mm-hmm.
And then this becomes this, subtract this.
Okay.
Okay? So NC2, n factorial over n subtract 2 factorial, 2 factorial.
So then why did you do n plus 1 subtract 3 on that one?
Because if you look at your NCR, it's n plus 1, 3.
Yeah.
Okay? So from there, basically what you could do, all right, you could do some cross multiplication to do it, and you would cancel some things out. Okay? So, you know, if I multiply that up, this goes up to here, that and this are going to cancel out. Right? I divide that down, I expand, you know what I mean? So what I would do personally is I would take my numbers and put them on this side, and all my n's and stuff and put them on the left side, just by cross multiplying. Okay? Do you want me to leave this with you now? and see if you can keep going with it. I don't want to do it all out because I want you to do some of the manipulation of it. But are you still struggling with how to write that out? Yeah? So it was the same thing as yesterday, right? So basically all I'm saying is whatever goes here goes on top. Then you take this, subtract this, that goes down here. Okay? And then the R goes right there as well. Okay? Alright, Mary, you had your hand up?
Yeah, but it's like a little bit back.
Yeah, fine. What page?
102.
Okay. What number?
4C and 5A.
So you would add up all your roots that you could take and see. All right, let me start with 5A and then I'll work, see if that helps you with 5B or with 4C. Okay, so you wanted 5A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so draw up 5A. I'm going to start with this. Okay, so so the first thing I want to do is I want to find out to go from here to here. Okay? You follow me?
Yeah.
How many roots to get to here? 1. Right? Okay, and to get to here? 1 as well. 2 to get to there, right? I feel like I've drawn this poorly.
I
don't
would
think I
like
did
the
that.
other way.
Yeah, I have to do it the other way. Sorry. That's why. There we go. There. Sorry about that. So I go from here to here. This is 1, 1, 2. Still 1 there, right? 3 here. 1 there still, because it can only go in that direction. So I've got 4 to get to right here. Okay? And now I go 3. How many is it? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I wish you could draw straight.
Why did you put those lines in?
These lines?
Yeah.
That's how I count. Is if I divide them into, then I can see how many roots to get to each of those vertices.
Okay.
Okay? So I draw them right to the diagonal. And then how many roots do I go from here to here? 1. And here to here is 1. And then to get this guy, I add those 2 together to get to that guy. Okay, so that's how I do it. So I'm going to do the same thing up here. All right? So,
In our other example, you put a line from the middle of drawing 1. You have to do that.
uh-oh. It switched. Uh-oh.
No.
Random black guy in there. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Poor lines
Uh-oh.
down here. Oh, pretty now. Okay, yeah, that's your question again?
So before we put one right in the middle between the two, you have to do that.
No, I don't remember that there. Sorry? Right here?
Yeah. I don't know if that's right. You put it in there.
Okay. So I've got 4 to there.
Unless I wrote wrong.
Yeah.
Very well be true too. But
Okay, so at this point here, right? At this point here, to go from here to right here is still 4. To go from here to right here is still 4. That's the question right there. That's where the problem comes in. All right? So now from there, you should be able to just add them up. So this is still going to be 4, 4, 4 roots, 4 roots, 4 roots here, 4 roots there. Okay, following at that point? Okay, and then it's 8, 8, 4 make 12, and then you can finish it off that way.
One question is, like, if it says to go southwest, so if you don't start, you would go.
Oh, I went the opposite way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from B to here. So if I had done it from here, all the way down to right here, then those numbers go across here. Whatever this number is goes across here. One goes down there, and then you add to get there, add to get there. Okay, sorry about that. I went the wrong direction. But that's where, when you join them up, that's where the problem ends up persisting.
Yeah, I think that they get how to do the counting whenever it was easy, but for some reason when I did it, maybe I did the wrong thing.
You could, in theory, actually, to get this guy right here, all right, I have 3 blocks south and 5 blocks to the west, right? So you could do this to get to that number right there. And once you have that number, then you could work it across and down. Okay?
So the question before, I don't know how I got it wrong, I'm pretty sure my math was right.
Okay, I'll come have a look at it. So it's just drawing to get to C, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Young, these things would be easier to work with if they're a lot larger on the page and the book.
You're right.
Because the 4A was really easy. It was fun because it was large and easy to do. But these smaller ones, they're really hard to work on. And
Okay, then why don't you take a piece of graph paper, redraw it on graph paper,
okay,
and then do it on there.
I don't have graph paper on me.
I'll give you graph paper.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, I agree with you. It's tough and it's small. Yeah, Eli, go ahead.
2B,
Page?
101.
Okay, so this is, again, I've been given a restriction, right? Okay, so how many stars are there? 9? 5. This is the middle one. It's got to be a star, right? Okay. So far, so good? All right, so I have to fill in the rest of these blanks. So how many blanks are left? 8 factorial, right? How many of them am I going to put in here are like objects? So you have 3 of those kind of triangle-y things, right? And you have
2 stars.
how many stars?
2.
Okay, here's the problem. Huh. Okay, well, how many crosses do you have?
4.
Oh, I looked at the wrong three answer here. My bad. Okay, so I have 2 stars, right? And I have 4 of those crosses. Yeah. So then, there's my answer.
What about the...
Because I've eliminated the star already. Right? 1 star has to go here, so the other star can go anywhere in here. So it's still part of the 8, but it's not a like term.
So then you just solve that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're done with and that's your answer.
Thank
You were right. I was looking at the wrong diagram.
And there's 8 there because
Because you have 8 blanks left to fill. You put a
Okay.
star in this blank right here. Now you have 8 blanks left to fill.
okay.
Okay? You get that?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, finish to the end of, well, you should be close to the end of 4-7 today. And I'll do the best I can here to get you a pre-test, and if there's an assignment, I'll do that too.